UN member nations about the progress South Korea has made with North Korea as he delivered a keynote speech on Wednesday at the 73rd UN General Assembly. Our Blue House correspondent Shin Se-min reports from New York.
President Moon Jae-in has brought the international community up to speed on North Korea. Addressing UN member nations on the last leg of his trip to New York, the president spoke of the progress made with Pyongyang, from getting the regime to put down its nuclear weapons to disclosing its will for peace and prosperity in front of the world. The South Korean president, for the first time on the UN stage, also referred to bringing an official end to the Korean War.
전쟁 종식은 매우 절실합니다. 평화체제로 가기 위해 반드시 거쳐야 할 과정입니다. 앞으로 역할을 위한 과감한 조치들이 관련국 사이에서 실행되고 종전선언으로 이어질 것을 기대합니다.
Adding to his case for a peaceful Korean peninsula, President...
Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today. This is your Sunday update. This was sent by a viewer. It says, Abbas, Palestine's ready to enter peace talks with Israel. This is September 22nd. This was put out. So now it says Abbas is ready to enter peace talks with Israel. And take a look at who's in the picture here. We have Macron. Macron seems to be in the forefront again. So let's read this article and see what it says. Palestinian President Abbas on Friday voiced readiness to resume peace talks with Israel, either behind closed doors or in public. Speaking at a joint press conference in Paris with French counterpart Emmanuel Macron, Abbas said, "We're ready for negotiations with Israel, either in public or behind closed doors, with the Middle East Quartet as a sponsor." The so-called Middle East Quartet is comprised of the U.S., Russia, the UN, and the EU. The Palestinians have rejected negotiations. Abbas asserted Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is the one who has derailed the peace process. Later in the day, French presidency issued a statement on the meeting between the two leaders, noting the French leader reiterated that his country is attached to the two-state solution. Macron reiterated the full commitment of France to resume the thread of dialogue between the Palestinians and Israelis, and confirms to President Abbas the willingness of France to mobilize on the diplomatic field to change the situation is no longer tenable, according to the Elise statement. Recalling the strict Israeli siege on the Gaza Strip, Macron emphasized the need to do everything possible to improve the humanitarian situation. The leaders also discussed the ongoing talks between the Palestinian Authority and Hamas under the auspices of Egypt, according to the statement. Macron said France supports the talks to reach an intra-Palestinian reconciliation in a bid to allow holding elections in the coming months in Gaza, which is an essential contribution to the establishment of a democratic Palestinian state. He also reiterated his attachment to the security of Israel and at the same time the condemnation by France of the policy of Israeli colonization, which has continued and accelerated in recent months. Abbas arrived in Paris on Thursday at the invitation of Macron. On Saturday, the Palestinian president will leave France for Ireland before moving on to New York for a UN General Assembly meeting. Palestine-Israel talks broke down in 2014 due largely to Israel's refusal to stop building Jewish-only settlement units on confiscated Palestinian land. Okay, now we've heard so much talk before about Abbas ready to, agree with the peace agreement and stuff. We've heard that. But now we have Macron coming to the forefront. I think this is key here because, like I said before, I expect someone else to come forward to want to take over this peace agreement. It could very well be Macron. As you can see, he's becoming very active right now. In case something does happen to Trump and he isn't here anymore and he goes in the rapture, if he's a born-again Christian, that very well could happen. Then that means somebody else has to step up to the forefront. So let's get confirmation on this article. I do have confirmation, and this one comes from right here, the Jerusalem Post. It says, voices from the Arab press, Mohammed Abbas is 99% agreement. He's in 99% agreement. A weekly selection of opinions and analysis from the Arab media around the world. It says Abbas is 99% agreement. Last week, Palestinian Authority President Abbas met in Ramallah with an Israeli delegation of peace activists and made public statements regarding the political impasse between Israelis and Palestinians. Speaking to local and international news outlets, the Palestinian premier maintained that his government's disputes with Israel remain minimal. To support his claim, he indicated that he had met with Shin Bet officials dozens of times and agreed with them on 99% of the issues discussed. I am unaware what is worse, the fact that the Palestinian president boasts his ties with the Israeli secret security agency, or that he sees eye to eye with its officials on 99% of the matters brought up. Which issues are included in the 99%, which are: does Abbas agree with the Israelis on the status of Jerusalem, the right of return, water rights? None of these were specified. Abbas didn't even bother issuing a clarification to his statement. Instead, he simply entertained the idea that the very government in charge of occupying and abusing his people is in a legitimate peace partner with whom he has little, if any, disagreements. Okay, so I'm not going to read the whole article. This guy is like, who wrote this, he seems to be against what Abbas is saying, but the fact is that it says here that he's in 99% agreement with the Israelis, and this is key. It also looks like that he's trying to go over top of Trump's head with Macron. Macron seems to be taking over, or wanting to take over in the forefront. So like I said before, it could be that the Antichrist will take over this peace agreement when the rapture takes place. Everything has to be lined up. All the ducks are lined up in a row. Peace agreement's laid on the table. Trump's about to announce this peace agreement. I think he's going to announce it to the UN on the 25th, or he may have changed his mind. Either way, we have someone stepping up to the forefront that could take over this thing. Macron's already here wanting to take it over. Could it be him? If something should happen to Trump. Everything seems to be lined up. Everything seems to be ready to go. Abbas says he's willing to cooperate and agree. So here we go. This could mean, and he's even willing to do it behind closed doors. Look at all the happy, smiling faces in this picture. They've been agreeing on many things already with the Israelis. It's not disclosed yet. I don't believe Trump will disclose everything until a lot of things are agreed upon and it's almost ready to come to pass as a formal agreement, where everybody agrees and it becomes a formal agreement, and then it can be announced and then signed upon. Since Trump is a businessman, I believe that's how he'd do it. Anyway, we are very close to something happening here. Macron stepping up to the forefront, wanting to take this over, could be a very telling sign how close we are. Anyway, keep looking up. If we're here next week, I will keep you updated. Jesus is coming soon. If we're not here, FC. Hi everyone, I'm coming on here for a quick update. I just got to show you, this comes from the Times of Israel. There are so many things about the peace agreement exploding today. It's off the charts. Everything on the Times of Israel just about right now is about a peace agreement. So I'm going to go ahead and go over some of these articles. I couldn't possibly go over all the articles for you to read, but I am going to go over these titles so you can see what's going on here. This one says, Trump says, I prefer a two states. One state is okay too, as long as there's a deal. Next one underneath says, Trump accepts the Palestinian state will remain under Israeli security control. The PM says this, that Trump accepts the Palestinian state will remain under Israeli security control. Next one says, Trump to Netanyahu, I like two-state solution, want peace in my first term. Trump's two-state support draws Palestinian skepticism, right-wing resistance. And then there's some more important ones down here. I was going to show you real quick. Just a second here, I gotta find it. It says, at a warm meeting, Trump jolts Netanyahu by explicitly backing the two-state solution. And then there were some very important ones down here that I had to. This whole thing is just exploding today with all this peace agreement stuff on here. This is amazing. There was one about the opposition leader Livni, if I can find that, and also one about Macron I thought was very important. The opposition leader Livni had talked to Abbas at the UN General Assembly meeting. She was talking to Abbas and telling him to agree with Trump's peace deal for the sake of the two-state solution. Now, I know I saw the article here earlier. I'm not seeing it now. But I did see it here, so I thought that was very important. And also there was another article that said that Macron says Trump should not go it alone on this peace deal, criticizing Trump for trying to go it alone. And I think the reason why he's doing that is because he wants to be involved in this peace deal. He's wanting to get in there. And I think we know why he might be wanting to get in there. So this is just exploding with all this news. Anyway, I thought it was important to show you this when the UN General Assembly meeting took place. All these leaders have gotten together to talk about this peace agreement. Netanyahu says he's ready for a two-state solution as long as Israel will be in charge of the Palestinian portion of it. I don't know what the Palestinians are going to think about that. But to say that Netanyahu is ready for a two-state solution is incredible. I've never heard him say that before. He's always said he would not agree with a two-state solution. Oh, and here's the video. It says, Macron rebukes Trump's go-it-alone approach to Middle East peace and Iran. And here's the article. It says, Operation Leader Livni urges Abbas to reopen talks with the U.S. Now, the opposition leader's always been against everything Netanyahu and Trump has been wanting to do. And to talk Abbas into going ahead with Trump's peace plan, that's incredible. It seems like everything seems to be coming together. And I saw another article that says the peace plan, Trump will present it in 2 to 4 months. I mean, there's just so much articles, I can't even keep track of them all on here. So I don't even think I could show you where it's at right now. But if we're here Sunday, I will try to get some of these narrowed down for you and do an update on some of these. But I've never seen anything like this. Not one site like the Times of Israel just covered with news about the peace agreement just exploding all of a sudden. I think we're very close to going home, so keep looking up. This is a very incredible, important news. We need to keep an eye on this.
Of the various different political reasons, but the very fact that we are here, we are saying to God, we are saying to you, Hashem, here we are ready. If it's in our hands, we are ready to worship you as free people, as the holiday of Pesach is the holiday of freedom. We are here as free people, ready to say, here we are ready. We hope that in the next few years, we will be able to already do it the way it should be done in the temple, on the Temple Mount.
So exactly 1/2 of the 7-year period plan that's being formalized, you should really pay attention, because once this covenant is signed, that is hands down one of the most major prophecies, because it's telling us that the Antichrist is being established. So on March 2nd, today, this news came out, report, U.S. peace plan to include East Jerusalem as Palestinian capital. And this is Jared Kushner, Donald Trump's son-in-law. This is Ahmad Abbas. He's the leader of the Fatah movement for the Palestinian people. The U.S. President Donald Trump's Israel-Palestinian peace plan will call for an independent Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as its capital. Al-Sharq al-Azad newspaper reported Wednesday. A French diplomat told the Arabic language daily that the Trump administration is expected to reveal its peace plan at an upcoming international conference in Cairo. The report says that under Trump's peace plan,